Abhishek Manu Singhvi, representing the Congress party tonight, is debating with Chandan Mitra, representing the BJP on this debate. Mr. Chandan Mitra, are you trailing on day one? Are you trailing on day one of the FDI debate? I'd like to start by asking you, Sushma Swaraj questions the government for its change in position vis-a-vis the FDI. However, in November 2011, defending the change in position of the BJP, Chandan Mitra, Sushma Swaraj says there is no bar against wisdom. In other words, saying one can always revise one's position. If you can revise your position, can't the Congress party revise its position?
Well, Arnab, you asked so many questions in the same package that I will have to take them up one by one. First, you asked me whether we are trailing on day one. I don't know how this thought even crossed your mind. You just saw the near consensus in Parliament that you saw Mr. Kapil Sibal's complete isolation from the second speaker, Mr. Saugata Roy, to Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav, to Dara Singh Chauhan of the BSP, and of course Sushma Swaraj hardly needs to be reiterated. Everybody blasted the idea of FDI. Now, Mr. Chauhan was honest enough to say how we will vote tomorrow will be decided tomorrow. But if you see the entire thrust of his speech, he said FDI should not be brought. Mr. Mulayam Singh appealed to the Congress and the Congress's conscience in the name of Mahatma Gandhi, saying that please, you also bear the Gandhi surname, don't betray Gandhi. Sushma ji was extremely powerful, evocative, and I think demolished the Congress's arguments completely. So, I think the question of trailing on day one does not arise. The Congress's isolation is complete. That's part one. Part two, you say the BJP has a right to change its mind. Look, I think this is a huge amount of, I would say, disinformation which the Congress has let loose. The BJP did not at any stage actually introduce FDI. FDI was an idea that was discussed, debated. It was part of a suggestion in the manifesto, but neither were we in the government, nor did we ever move, nor did the cabinet approve. And the question of the BJP actually having pushed FDI in retail does not simply
Kapil Sibal
arise.
Quoted Jaswant Singh.
We discussed the idea, is why not?
Kapil Sibal quoted Jaswant Singh, Dr. Chandan Mitra.
Yeah.
Small rebut. He quoted Jaswant Singh and what he said on April 12th, 2004. And I quote what Kapil Sibal said. He said, it is part of our agenda, FDI, and we are committed to it. They must explain why they changed its stand. Many said KFC will drive the dhabas out of the market. Dhabas have driven out KFC. Don't underestimate Indian brands. Now that you are not in power, you change your stance. Was that not a moment that made the BJP introspect?
KFC or McDonald's does not make a difference. They have been allowed. Single brand retail FDI has been permitted, and they are doing fine. And we are not saying that they will throw every MNC out of this country. I think Sushma ji made it abundantly plain. The issue of the multi-brand FDI in retail was being discussed. It was an issue, it has been an issue. But the experience of the world since 2004, I think countries are pulling back. Brazil, Indonesia are standing examples which allowed and kind of welcomed FDI in multi-brand retail, and they are now saying that restrictions have to be imposed, farmers are losing out. So yes, I think the experience should make everybody wiser.
Okay.
But Congress is actually far from getting wiser.
Dr. Singhvi, losing. Dr. Singhvi, first I want your response to the points. First, Dr. Singhvi, I want your response to the initial observations of Chandan Mitra. Secondly, I want... Okay, you can respond first, then I'll ask my question.
Yes, I'll be brief in my response and you can put your question, Arnab. Let's get the minor things which Chandan Mitra adverted to out of the way first. What he's effectively saying is that BJP manifestos are not to be taken seriously. It's only a manifesto. When we are in opposition, we ignore our manifesto and we then oppose precisely what we said in our manifesto, what we could not do, but when the government in power does it, we oppose it. That's how seriously we must take the BJP manifesto. As far as isolation of the Congress is concerned, This is some kind of a splendid isolation, Arnav, because with this isolation, the BJP has already conceded defeat on the vote. Sushma Swaraj had a very interesting statement in her speech, in the early part of the speech, that we are not here to necessarily win the vote, but we are here to persuade you. Because she knows, and they know, that the vote in the Lok Sabha tomorrow is going to be against them. What kind of isolation is that? I think it's important that here, and that's the third point I wish to make, is a party, the BJP, which always opposes for the sake of opposition. They proposed GST when they were in power, and they opposed it when they were in opposition. Mr. Jaswant Singh tangoed with Stroop Talbot for many years, and they opposed 1, 2, 3. They proposed FDI in their manifesto, and they opposed it now. So this hypocrisy and duplicity and double-facedness is par for the course as far as BJP is concerned. But what is important is, in this process, they completely ignore national interest. Because here, you have not only Sushma ji virtually conceding defeat in the Lok Sabha, but we are absolutely confident of getting it through. But what is more important, Arnav, we have proclaimed this policy. Whether we lose or win, we are very clear, we stand by the policy because we believe it's in the national interest. And having proclaimed it once, we are prepared to stand up for it, nothing surreptitious, nothing behind the back. What's your question?
Gentlemen,
yes.
May I please come in, please? Because you both sides have made the initial observations, I want to give the Newshour viewer a chance to sample the debate on 3 key issues. And my first issue is employment on FDI. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Walmart needs 36,000 stores to create 40 lakh jobs, which is the claim of the government of India, says Sushma Swaraj. Is she completely wrong? So the follow-up question is, across the world there are 9,000 outlets employing 21 lakh people. How in India will we have even 18,000 outlets employing 42 lakh people by that number? And how can 40 lakh people be directly employed, which is the claim which is made by your Commerce Minister? Have you got your numbers on employability and employment potential of FDI completely wrong, Dr. Singhvi? If not, prove to me tonight how you arrive at a 40 lakh figure.
Not at all, because of 2 or 3 obvious reasons, Arnab. Firstly, the government of India, through the Commerce Ministry, has put in the public domain, not now, not last week, but many weeks ago, the specific figures of estimate it expects. These obviously have to be estimates, and the figure is there. So I and nobody else, I think, here is here to quibble on those figures, because somebody is to prove those published figures the government of India estimates to be totally wrong. Of course, estimates will be slightly wrong. They could be higher and lower.
I'm taking a benchmark.
I'm
taking a benchmark. Sorry to interrupt you there, sir. I'm taking a benchmark, and I'm asking you, Walmart has 21 lakh employees worldwide. Their largest store is 214 people. Right? Walmart needs 36,000 stores to create 40 lakh jobs.
Yes, I'll explain why.
36. This is not a practical number, sir.
That's a misleading analogy. That's a misleading analogy, Arnab, because when you have these operations in India, the very reason Walmart comes here is because it gets cheaper labor. So you have more labor-intensive operations. You have more labor, and you get it cheaper.
But will we...
So it is entirely possible that when they go to the same Walmart store in America, will employ much less labor. The same Walmart store in Europe and England will employ much less labor. So that's not a correct analogy.
India more.
But the second point, Arnav, is very important. How are you assuming that the only employment you will get is through Walmart?
Chandan Mitra, don't apply an American example to an Indian context. Is Dr. Singhvi's straight response to you tonight?
1 minute, Arnav. There are very many other operators like Walmart who will come in. It's not just Walmart. And the employment will be generated in a multiplier
I understand. So what you are saying in response to what Sushma Swaraj said is, don't take an American number and apply it in an Indian context.
Absolutely.
Dr. Chandan Mitra.
Yes. Or a Norwegian number. A Walmart store in Norway or Sweden will not employ the same number of people as in India.
Well, Norway, I hope we
are
to follow the example of Norway and jail parents. But anyway, let me come to the substantive point. You've raised a very valid question, Arnab, that these are the kind of figures being given out. 40 lakh jobs with 36,000 stores. Now, what happens to the number of people who will be rendered jobless in the process? There are, and there are confirmed figures, authentic figures, that there are 4 crore retailers in this country. It range of figure varies between 4 and 5 crore. Each retailer has a family, averagely estimated at 5. So, there are 20 crore people dependent on 4 crore retailers. Now, when they lose their jobs, or at least the majority of them lose their jobs or their businesses, they are shut down, what happens to them? And against that, 36,000 stores, which I suppose will take
are you going simply by Basudev Acharya's logic? That's Basudev Acharya's logic in the house. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, give me an answer to that.
No.
Basudev Acharya says for every job you create, 17 jobs are lost.
I have not finished. I have not finished.
Okay, now Arnab.
Basudev Acharya's logic or anybody else's logic, the facts are facts. Logic can be anybody's. Anybody may have advanced it, but can the logic be dismissed?
Okay.
And my other point is, today if you heard Mr. Kapil Sibal's speech, Arnab, I have
take
never
that one
seen a minister be so much on the back foot and defensive, where he says Walmart will hardly be coming to India. Now there are only 18 cities where Walmart will be permitted, Walmart or anybody else for that matter will be permitted, and they can't get space in the cities. They will have to open 20-30 kilometers away from the cities. Who is actually going to go there and buy stuff? Now, if they are not going to get place to open, if they are going to open stores 20-30 kilometers away from the main city,
it will take away
why
jobs.
are they going to come here in the first place?
Point noted.